Hey everybody, welcome to another HeroClix podcast. I'm your co-host Alec Munster, and here with me as always is Manny Man-Thing Ortega.
Hello, hello.
And today with us we have a member of the Clixed Off team. We have Jason Alvey.
Hey, what's up, guys?
So we have it's been two podcasts in a row. We've had Clixed Off on the podcast. We had Daniel on earlier, a couple weeks ago, and now we have Jason. And today we are going to be talking about just some of our favorite HeroClix that we've ever played with, whether it's at the kitchen table, maybe a little bit of tournament organizing, just kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit. How much kitchen table playing did you have, Jason?
I mean, probably not a lot. Most of my HeroClix has been done at the comic book store that I play at. Because I don't know, I don't have my kids are not old enough really to play much, and yeah, that's where I do it all. I've been playing at that store for about 18 years now, I guess.
Oh, man, that's awesome. How long? And you've been tournament or so when I say TO, this means tournament organizing. You've been TOing there the whole time, or did that something that's kind of recently happened?
Well, it happened. I started off organizing and judging Star Wars miniatures there back in like 2007.
Star Wars miniatures. Okay.
Yeah, you ever heard that from Watson? That was Wizard of the Coast. It was a great game.
Did you have the only thing I can think about? I don't know if Manny, you remember these, the tactics. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
No.
I remember those. Yeah.
Those are the only kind of things I can think about. I don't know how big they got. I remember once they dove into Transformers, there was like one Transformer that like had this giant like hook thing, and it was just like if you picked that figure, it was over. Like it auto hit, like it always knocked the characters over. Anyways,
yeah, Star Wars Mini was a D20 base miniature game that Wizard of the Coast put out from like 2004 to like 2010.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty cool game. I played a lot of it. But I think I took over doing HeroClix around the time of Giant Size X-Men. I think around 2010s or so, as I can remember that far back.
Okay.
There's been a lot of HeroClix sets that have passed.
No, I get it. Manny, did you ever get hip to this? Like the Star Wars miniatures or not really?
Nope. I've never heard of any Star Wars miniatures games. And that's weird because I had a lot of friends in my growing up in church that were really into Star Wars, and I've never even heard them talk about that.
Oh yeah, it's such a fantastic game. I love it. I wish they quit producing it and like lost the license to it back in like 2010. And that's when fans like picked up all the games.
Yeah, I know they played a lot of X-Wing, right? That's a
yeah, it's a fantasy flight game with the ship. Yeah, I had another watch the game before that was the ship based called Starship Battle. Wasn't nearly as good as X-Wing. But yeah, I'm in the Star Wars Miniature Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Whoa! We got a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. For a defunct game that's been gone for 15 years.
Hey, you know what? If there's ever some like weird history, your name is going to be brought up. If this is ever brought up in like some type of like weird history show, like 20 years from now or something like that, talking about tabletop games in the 2000s. That's awesome. Well, before we jump into it, we always do a little segment with our hosts called The Games We Play. Now, this is talking about the games that we've been playing currently, whether it's board, on the playground, or like video games, whatever games you've been playing recently, we want to hear about it. So, Manny, why don't you kick us off? What game have you been playing lately?
I think the game I have been playing lately, I don't know if I've spoken about this before, but I am a huge fan of Survivor. And Survivor just dropped an official card game for like the table. So me and my friends have been playing the Survivor. It's called the Tribe Has Spoken board game. A lot.
Okay, Tribe Has Spoken. It's a party game?
Yeah, it's made by the same people who made Exploding Kittens. don't know if you know what that game is.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, I've played that.
It's it's pretty much like you steal a card from somebody, you draw a card, and then every so often you vote somebody out, and everyone has like 2 lives and stuff like that.
Wow. That is I'm looking at it right now. Looks very interesting. Do you get to pick your own character or characters part of the cards?
They have certain characters that you could pick from, but you get both the characters in the one color. So you get to pick a color and then you play as both those characters.
Oh, I see now. Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Jason? What have you been playing?
Lately, well, I've been video game. I haven't played a lot of Hero Clay recently, to be honest. Yeah, right. I'm at holidays and stuff, but like Marvel Snap, which I'm sure you know have heard us talk about before, and Fortnite. I love Fortnite. My son and I play Fortnite all the time.
Are you no build or build?
No build.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's my opinion. That's the best way to play it.
That's how I got into it, was because of no build, like back during the pandemic when I discovered it. And yeah, I'm not doing build. I'm not sweaty over try hard for that.
No, I agree.
And then and then we play. You ever heard of DC deck building?
Oh yeah.
We've been playing a lot of that lately. My son discovered that and he likes it. That's one of my favorite card deck building games. Yeah.
Did you ever play Dominion?
I have never got to play Dominion. I've heard about Dominion. I know of it. I've never ever got to try it though. I'd like to.
I feel like it's like the Magic version of all these. Like there's DC Deck Builder, there's Marvel Deck Builder, there's like Marvel Legendary.
It's like a mystical type game.
It is, yeah. We have the big box. It's very fun.
Yes, very fun game.
You played it, man? I shouldn't even mention. You have like a billion board games.
That's actually one I don't own. My friend Jake owns it, so we just play it when we're at his house. So I don't have to own it.
Yeah, it's I'm assuming it's kind of like DC deck building games where you kind of start out with the same starter cards every time, and as you like progressively like get into it, you start to see how your deck is going to be built. I don't know. It's a very fun game because you never play it the same way twice.
That's kind of fun. That's kind of the fun with it, that you don't ever play it twice the same way, really. Because it depends on the luck of the draw. Yeah, I enjoy it quite a bit. It's probably my favorite board game to play, really. And I've got a lot of board games. I don't get to play a lot of them, but I've got plenty of them. Like,
yeah, it's always
the moment still shrink wrap, unfortunately.
I got a couple of those for Marvel Legendary where it's like I just haven't gotten around to open it yet. But we still play the game. I guess for me, my wife and I played Overcooked. Are you guys ever played that game?
Never heard of it.
It's a video game for, I don't know what it's technically for, but it's for the Switch. We play it on. And it's a game where you're both in the kitchen and like every kitchen's different and you have to like cook together and work together to get these like plates together. Like you have to like pass off eggs to somebody. They got to blend them. And while you're doing that, you got to get you got to chop up like chocolate, and then you get flat. Like it's just like to make a pancake and you got to get them out in time. It's kind of like Diner Dash, but together. If you ever want to learn how you do with another person in terms of like teamwork and patience, this is the relationship tester game. It's very fun. But you can easily like say like, okay, we're done. We're getting a little too into it. I'm very I've realized about myself in this game that when I want something done, I will start repeating myself, and my wife just does not respond well to that. So I'll be like, give me the cheese, give me the cheese, give me the cheese, give me. And she's like, okay, and then we had to have a conversation of like, this is not how you communicate with me. I do not respond well, so now I try not to do that. But it's like you learn like your life lessons through that too.
Yeah, me and Jessica tried to do that. It Takes Two, right? I think it's called. And we can only play it for a couple, like maybe 45 minutes, and then we gotta take a break for a while.
No, absolutely. So, no, I the same things with this game. Very much the same thing. You can only play a couple minutes. Once things start getting hot, you got to kind of call it. So, um, okay. So before we get started, before we start talking about our favorite figures, favorite kitchen table figures, or just maybe most memorable moments playing HeroClix in general, Jason, you've been TOing, he said, for a while. Do you just want to jump into something that I've noticed in my playgroup is we all want somewhere to play. Now, recently our shop, I kind of talked to you about this, Jason, and actually Manny as well, but recently our shop kind of stopped selling HeroClix, and it's been really unfortunate. And our old TO stepped down for like personal reasons, and then it seemed like the store owner just kind of stopped really not caring, but he kind of just said, okay, so this is happening. So basically I was gonna kind of thinking about stopping selling HeroClix anyway, so we're just gonna stop selling sealed product, any kind of product, HeroClix, whatever's in the store, that's going out, and nothing's gonna get refilled. So that means no more pre-releases, no more anything. It's been really sad. And all the other places around us kind of had the same thing. We kind of been jumping ship, like kind of hopping from store to store. One place was doing HeroClix, and they're the only people doing HeroClix. Then they started jacking up the prices, so we had to jump over to the other place, and then now they're not selling it. So I've been looking for other places, and I guess what I'm trying to get at is starting a new playgroup, or just starting a playgroup in general and organizing those tournaments. Now, Jason, you've had some experience doing this, and Manny too, if you want to jump in on this too, because I know Manny's tournament organized back at our old place. Is there anything that you could give, any tips to people who want to start a community of HeroClix in their area but just don't know where to start?
I guess the biggest thing I always thought is you be consistent and be visible. Like, pick a day, pick a time, show up when you say you're going to be there, so that people can see you playing and having a good time with everybody else. Which can entice them to, ask what that is, and maybe they'll join you. Like if you don't show up, and make sure you're there to run that game every week, then people aren't going to show up, but they don't know, they can't depend on you. Like, and advertise around your stores. I put up flyers like constantly, like when I first started out, just to get people, so they could see it. And I've been through all these ups and downs over the years. I've had so many people come and go. It's hard to keep a good group over time.
Mm-hmm.
And try to I try to vary my build so that people don't get tired of one format. Like, you can't just play 300 Modern all the time.
That makes sense.
But that's how I see it. Just do the basic stuff.
Can you, what about you, Manny? I know you had a little bit. Oh, am I here? Hello?
But we've been lucky that I've had one store owner to deal with for all these years, because I don't have like multiple stores in my area. We have one. So if they were gone, then I don't know what I would do.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing about it is finding the right place.
Mm-hmm.
You got to find a shop that the person who's running the shop is also interested in continually doing this, because that was the problem I've had up here was when I was doing it at Roops, he decided that he didn't want to do it no more. And the Manifix was the thing, and then they ended up running out of business. So it's also a big thing to find the right shop owner as well too.
Yeah, I've been very blessed to have a good shop owner that I've been friends with for several years, and he pretty much supports me in anything I want to do as far as running HeroClix. So I've been very lucky there.
Yeah, I agree. Same here. Once the Manifest closed down, there was a big couple years where I wasn't playing anywhere other than at the kitchen table until I decided, I'm going to look up if there's any spots near me. Unfortunately, the closest one's an hour and 40 minutes away, but it is phenomenal. I love the place I play at. The person who owns it and runs it is one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and he's very and like involved with us as well too. So that's really nice.
One of the biggest things I remember about like starting. Well, actually, let's go with this real quick. When you guys started playing HeroClix, did you guys start playing like right off the bat at a comic book shop, or did you like just play like with your friends first? I know the answer to Manny, but what about you, Jason?
It was a comic book shop for me. Like that, I was running Star Wars miniatures games at the store, and Dwayne, my store owner, he came to me and he was like, "This is like when the coming of Galactus was about to happen, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, I want to run this series. Like, cause nobody played HeroClix there. He's like, if I give you like a starter and a couple packs, will you learn to play this game? And I'm like, yeah, I'll learn to play it. So me and him and a couple other guys in the store sat down one night and learned to play HeroClix. Well, sort of learned to play HeroClix, I guess you could say, because we did a lot of stuff wrong at the beginning. Yeah, that's where I started, was at the shop, and that's where I played, all the time. Like, I didn't have any friends that played at the time. It was just like, Legion of Superhero starter and like 2 boosters of the Avengers set, the first set with the card, and then we went through the entire coming of Galactus, and then we did the Starro event, and they had another guy that was running it at the time, but I was there playing, every week on a Saturday. That's what I did every Saturday for I don't know how many years.
Yeah, that's Saturday mornings. Were you a Saturday?
It was
morning?
in the Saturday afternoons usually. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We were kind of early, weren't we, Manny? When we started out playing, it's like 10 a.m. or something like that.
It was sometimes even earlier. Yeah,
I loved it though. It was okay. Manny's a night owl.
I can remember doing stuff like, back in the day, you couldn't combine running shot and RC and RCE, and we were doing silly stuff like that when the rules didn't let you do that like they do now. And, it was back when hypersonic speed had different options, if you remember that.
I have an old pack, actually. I should probably nab it.
I do too somewhere.
It's always fun because they really shortened down everything now. Like with the terminology. Mm-hmm. Like Flurry used to say like once, like he used to have this giant sentence, and then now it's just like close, make 2 attacks or something like that. So when we started playing, there wasn't much YouTube, there wasn't much people. We saw it at a comic book shop, and we wanted to learn to play good with it first, like learn the rules before we started running with the comic book people. I wouldn't suggest that. I would just suggest going to the place where people actually know how to play. It took us many years to figure out how to play the basic game. It was kind of crazy. We used to think you could do willpower in the middle of your turn. So you could attack, and if you miss, like say, well, I'm going to roll willpower. Okay. And now I'm going to go again. It was kind of crazy. And we never played 300 points. We always thought, well, back then, points
300 points would have been insane.
Yeah, 300 points were like 2 figures.
Oh. 2 figures.
Yeah. And point cost was so hard to build with because they were like, ending 2 or 3 or 7 or,
Yeah, it was the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. Even, 10s and 5s now are so much.
Yeah, I agree. I remember like the figures for us that were like hard to deal with were like World's Finest, like Gluttony, like I don't know what else. I remember Gluttony where we were just like, I don't know how to get around this thing. You literally can't do anything. He always takes 1 damage. And then like Jenny Sparks came around. We looked at Jenny Spark and we were just like, oh, okay, so this is how you beat Gluttony. You just have to play Jenny Spark.
Love that figure.
Oh yeah, it's a classic. I remember pulling it and just being like, yes, I could finally play against our buddy Drew played Gluttony. He's like, we could finally play against Gluttony.
I can remember some like Secret Invasion was a good time to play. Like I remember like the starter Invisible Woman, you could like PK 10 squares, and like the World Breaker Hulk or the Gladiator Hulk they had back then, he could run his full move and attack you, and name more from that set. I was all too much good stuff.
Invisible Woman could TK you 10 squares.
It used to be TK was like 10 square range. Like you
That's
didn't
bananas.
have to have. I don't think you had to have like now you have to have line of fire from like everybody to the location, right? And back then he could be behind an invisible woman and she could TK you in front of her. You didn't have to have line of fire.
That's cool math now.
It was all kinds of crazy stuff.
That's awesome. That's so
TK is so
funny.
gimped now versus what it used to be. Here's success.
Well, before it was like you could. Well, even recently it's changed, right?
Yeah, because it went down to like what minimum 4 rangers or something like that.
That's what it was. Because it was before it was moved 6 square, play some 6 squares.
Yeah.
Now it's 4. That's right. It just changed. That's right. Man. Well, this is a good segue into like figures that we used to play with, or figures we play with that we just have so much fun playing with, or maybe they're just memorable, especially ones that like just like ones that you play for fun, ones that you really like. So let's jump into that. Manny, do you want to kick us off with any figures that you remember fondly playing with, and just in general, remember just like I always wanted to make sure I had this on my 4 set sometime?
There was a figure I tend to use a lot back then. It was a lot of points. It was like 300 points though, and that was the super rare Tyrant from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
Oh
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that guy was a terror. Yeah, I remember him.
Yes, I loved that figure. Played it any chance I could. It's the only super rare on my display case. Out of all the chases I have it up there with my spaces. Because I love it.
It's a Herald. Before Herald became an incredibly good keyword, it was a Herald before that. Oh, that's right. When he's adjacent to an opposing character assigned a relic or a resource, modifies combat values +1. That'd actually be great in this game right now. Everything's assigned something.
But he is way too many points now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Even with like our store does like a discount thing. Even with the discount, he is just not playable still.
Yeah, for those who don't know, Manny, do you want to say? I know you've said it a couple times, but I just still think this is such a great idea, especially for Golden Age. So go ahead and tell people again about the Checkmate discount.
Okay, cool. So the Checkmate discount is something that our group made up when we play like Golden and stuff like that. They kind of like balance older figures, so that way they feel like we can still play older figures for fun. Which is so the year that figure came out, you take that from the gap of where we are now. So like say a figure came out 2015. So you'll take the 10 years that it came out, times that by 3, and then minus that by the point value of the character. And that's how much points the characters would be.
And I like that a lot for these kind of figures.
Okay.
So it helps balance out like some of the higher pointed value figures that probably aren't worth that anymore, to try to be able to use some of those. We do have a minimum though. You can't go lower than 10, so everything has to be at least 10 points. But yeah, it just helps balance a little.
Well, yeah, the only thing I don't like it for is characters that were really good that just rotated out, like the Scott Porters. Are they going to get that discount?
So we just banned Scott Porters from Checkmate discount.
Okay, good.
So we have a Checkmate discount banned list, and Porters are on it. I was the one who brought that up because I 100% would have taken advantage of 19-point Scott Porter. But yeah, we just officially put them on a ban list. So they're the only 2 figures on our Checkmate list, or our Checkmate discount ban list.
All right. That's a good one. Actually, it's funny you say that. My our play group kind of have a gentleman's agreement to say no Beetlejuice on the sideline right now, unless it's for like going outside of our local tournament practice, if that makes sense. You can main force it, but you can't take it off the sideline just because so many people complain about it right now. In our play group is just like, this just makes me not want to play the game. So we kind of just are like, okay, well, let's just say no Beetlejuice right now.
That's fair. Who wants to go sit down to have a good time and see Beetlejuice across something, right?
That's true. I agree.
Yeah.
It's way worse than Merlin.
And yes, much worse.
All right. Jason, do you have a figure? We'll jump back to Manny and see if Manny has a couple more after this. But Jason, what's one figure that you're thinking about?
I used to love to play Speed Demon from the Deadpool set.
Speed, yes.
Yeah, Super Rare Speed Demon, the 53A. From that set. Yeah, like Wizard was the prime or whatever, I think. But like he had this power called Speed Cyclone Uplift, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could move, and then after actions resolved, you'd use a character and roll a d6, and then if the result was less than the number of squares between Speed Demon moved into or through their adjacent to that character during that move, you could place them within line of fire of a square and up to the result away in the square. So you basically just run around them in a circle and you could toss them out somewhere.
That's awesome.
And then deal them damage, deal them like half that result of damage. That was just it was just free damage. And he had like a 14 hypersonic speed. And
I'm looking at that. Holy smokes. That is the map. That is almost the map.
Yeah, nowadays it is. Yeah. Like, he was such a fun figure. I played the heck out of that guy back in the day. Definitely one of my all-time fave, for sure. And at that discount, he'd be pretty cheap right now.
To say, yeah, this dude would be cheap.
He came out 11 years ago. So what's that, like 99 points off?
33, right?
33 or something?
11 years ago, yeah.
33. 33. Okay, 33. So,
be around 70 points. That seems about right, though.
Points.
If he was in modern, I feel like that'd be a good pricing for him.
Yeah, probably not bad. I'd probably play him again. I mean, his defense kind of sucks at the start, but it's free damage, basically. You don't have to roll a dice. Well, you do roll a dice, but you mean still get something. So, yeah, I absolutely love that. And it was a trait, so you could always ignore characters and terrain from movement. So, and there was nothing better than that.
Now, I don't know how WizKids does their how they base their figure points off of how they come to the number of 110. But I'm sure improved movement has something to do with it. I wonder how many points is accounted for improved movement hindering. Because that's totally not a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know the point formula. I don't know how they would have accounted for that.
Can we all agree that was one of the worst rules?
They got rid of it?
Well, because if you moved into hindering, you had to stop your movement.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was awful. I hated that.
And could you imagine? Could you imagine if that rule still stayed, and then someone's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna bring you to Wakanda." It's like crap. I can't do anything.
Yeah, that would not have been fun.
Because even to move out of it, you had to. It was plus 2. It was half, right? You had to move half your speed.
Yeah, half your speed to move out of it if you didn't fly or something like that. Yes.
That was a nightmare. Okay, so I guess one for me. I remember playing this dude a lot. And I remember really wanting it. And then when I first started playing HeroClix, it was around 2013, 2014. I don't know what set that was, War of Light era, but when we were playing, there was still a lot of boosters left over, and one of the boosters was Legion of Superheroes. That set has a lot of fondness in my heart because there was a lot of great figures. We were always trying to buy pull boosters for that dark side. I remember pulling in. I was like, oh my goodness, we kind of semi freaked out. Anyways, the one figure that I do remember pulling and being super excited to play was Solomon Grundy, the old super rare.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one that basically couldn't die.
Yes.
You heal him. You heal him 1 damage if he occupies hindering or water terrain. He can move through hindering terrain, and he has the 3 resurrection tokens. And then when each time an opposing character would KO him, you put one of his you take off one, and you put him to click 9 and heal him 1 damage for each resurrection. That's what it is. And this character, it couldn't be ignored. Man, this figure, I just remember pulling this figure, just how excited I was to play it. And it was pretty fun. I remember his dial was kind of all over the place. That is one thing I will say. But but he can either choose Outwit, Battle Fury, or modify his damage value by +1. Oh, that's what it is. He can either use Outwit or he can use Battle Fury and modify his damage value by +1. That's what it was. Yeah, this figure. I remember when it came out. When I pulled it, it was just so exciting, and I like to play this figure a ton. It was a lot of fun. I don't know if you guys. I know Manny didn't play with this. I don't know if you played with this one or not, Jason.
I've definitely think I've played him a time or two. I remember him for sure. Granted, I've never been as much on playing the DC figures as I am Marvel. I'm more of a Marvel guy.
Oh my, one of those guys. No.
Yeah, I'm a Marvel guy.
I like the finer things in life.
All right. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm a Spider-Man guy through and through, for sure.
Oh, I am too, but I still like DC.
Oh, I like DC. I'm not gonna don't like DC.
I heard you didn't. That's what I just heard right now. I heard you said I hate DC.
Oh, I apologize for defending you.
No,
I've definitely played DC figures a good bit over the years.
Mhm.
Probably not as much as Marvel. But it's like there's not as many of them anymore. We hardly get any DC figures.
That's true.
These days.
That's the good way. That's what I like to hear.
I had a great Justice League team back during like COVID when you couldn't play.
But then, yeah, but that was during COVID, so
Yeah, so never got to use it. Like that.
yeah. What about you, Manny? What's another figure that you're thinking about right now?
A figure I have been recently playing quite a bit of is Headpool from the Deadpool set.
Really?
Yeah. I think I put the little sheep gun thing on him, and I throw him at people, and then he drops a sheep, and then they can't move from a sheep in a Headpool. And he's only 10 points, so he's been pretty fun to use.
Oh, that's right, because he has the discount. He's normally 38 points though.
Correct.
So what does he do again? He has the virus tokens.
Well, more of the fact that you did the word bubbles on him.
Oh.
So then I could just swap in the sheep gun and then drop a sheep next to them, and now they're stuck next to a sheep and have to attack a sheep for a turn or roll the break away from a sheep.
So they can't.
What you want to do.
Say again. Sorry. One more time, Jason.
So neither of those things are something that you want to do.
Yeah, waste your time fighting a sheep.
Yeah.
Can you? Oh, there he is.
I did pull this trick on Emilio last time.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I bet he was so upset.
Oh, it didn't really do much to him. I think it was less of a nuisance for him than anyone else it would have been against.
Yeah, it makes sense. He probably was like, okay, whatever. What about you? What about Jason? What was another figure that you remember playing?
Bullseye from Web of Spider-Man.
Okay.
It was the Dark Avengers version of Bullseye. Like he was like pretending to be Hawkeye.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that was a fun figure to play. He had like sharpshooter, 10 range, running shot, 12 attack.
Oh my word, this dude was bananas.
They couldn't use shape change or super senses when he attacked them, which was great because like that's like when like Nightcrawler from that set was running around crazy, but he just killed him. Like if he couldn't super sense out of the shot from Bullseye.
Now that's like
I'm thinking.
That's like the iconic Nightcrawler, right?
Yes, that's the one, the Ben Young World Championship, figure that he made. Yeah.
Oh my word.
This guy was a great counter to him. I loved playing Marco Artist theme teams back then. Like, I don't know what it was about it, but like I had a good time playing. He was like a cornerstone of the teams I was using. 107 points back in the day.
With the discount, that's what, 30 something again? No, this is older.
I think it's older than that. So I forget me see what year Web of Spider-Man came out.
2010.
2010.
Yeah, so 15, so a 45-point discount. Yeah.
Jeez.
Heck yeah, dude. That would
Man,
be
that's pretty
bananas
solid still.
Yeah.
for a those are solid stats. Absolutely.
Yeah.
72 points. Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was a great figure.
He can he
Loved
has super strength too, but can't pick up or hold heavy objects.
him.
Oh, interesting. This is a fun. This looks like a fun little dude. Holy
Yeah.
smokes!
Yeah, he was great.
I
And
got,
you guys ever did you guys like play with feats and battlefield conditions and stuff?
I knew about ATAs. Is that what they call them?
Well, those are a different thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Battlefield conditions were like you pay a certain amount of points and it affects the whole map, right?
Battlefield conditions, like you used to like bring 3 of them, right? And they didn't cost any points. They were just like part of your team, and you would like pick one to use like every round or whatever. And it just affected the whole game. Then like feats were like cardboard. They're like, I mean, you could just pay points to add that ability onto the figure. It was like kind of like before they had equipment, really. It was stuff you could pay to like add on to it or whatever. We used to use those a lot back in those days too, which was kind of fun. You should check out some of those. There's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking at the one that's in the web of Spider-Man called Frog Legs, and it gives characters the swim ability.
Yeah, there was some stuff like that. Like there was one called Protected, and basically you could just put that on your character for like 8 points, and then if they got hit, you could just take an action token and ignore all the damage. As long as you could take an action token, so you had to make sure you only ever had 1 token on you, right? And that was such a good one. There was some really wild stuff back in the day like that. There was one called like Nano Armor, and you could just ignore all damage dealt by objects and modifiers to damage.
Oh my word!
Yeah, some crazy stuff. We used to pile stuff like that on our figures back in when we were playing. Good times.
And I love the prerequisite was just they had to be a standard figure. I'd love that for the Nano Armor. It's just standard. That's it.
Like one of my favorite ones was called Not So Special. Well, if they didn't have, like after they introduced, white box powers, so like you had a character that didn't, like 4 points, I think. And then if you didn't have any special powers on your die, you got like a +1/+1, I think, stats, I think is what it was.
Oh yeah, I see it right now. If when a character attacks an opposing character possessing a special power, if this character currently possesses no special power traits, modify the attack by +1.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what it was. Yeah, it was a good one. 3 points is what it cost. Yeah,
I would say 3 points. I'd totally pay that.
Yes.
Oh, dude, that's so fun.
Everyone's views. Yeah. You used to have like a 10% rule. You couldn't use like more than 10% of your build to put that stuff on your teams.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you can just load up all kinds of crazy stuff.
Would these be sideline stuff?
Sideline didn't exist back then.
Oh.
There was no such thing as a sideline back in those days. Yeah, they were just like part of your build total. It was HeroClix was like the Wild West back then. It wasn't. None of that stuff existed. But I guess, and I didn't play a lot of tournaments back then. This was all like just stuff we did at the local store. I didn't get into playing like in tournaments and stuff until like, I don't know, 2014-ish or so, 2013, 2014. I think it was 2014.
Was that something like that was like, did someone say, hey, do you want to go to a tournament? Or was someone like, hey, do you want to host a tournament? Or was it something totally different?
I guess what it started out was like The Rock started in like 2013, right?
And
I'd heard about some tournaments, and like I live in Owensboro, Kentucky. Well, like Lexington, Kentucky, which is about 3 hours to my east. They had a rock tournament, right? At a comic convention. I was like, and they didn't get like a huge turnout. Like I can do this. I can get way more people to come, right? And it's just something like this. And I contacted Howard Brock and talked to him and set one up. And like, we ran like a super qualifier. If you remember Brock super qualifiers back, I don't know if you remember those several years ago. They used to do that was like their kind of big regional event that they would do.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't start playing competitively until like 3 years ago. I didn't even know about the competitive scene
Okay.
about 3 years ago.
Okay, you kind of missed the golden age of that I call it back then. So I ran this Rock Super Quap, and we had all kinds of prizes, right? And we had like 67 people show up and play at our store.
Wow.
Yeah, we like crammed everybody in the gaming area, like we were elbow to elbow. I mean, I was running the tournament, but yeah, it was a good time, a really good time. Like Patrick Ipoko like showed up from California.
Holy smokes!
Yeah, it's crazy. Good times, man. That's kind of when our competitive journey at our local started, was from there.
Holy, yeah, that's all. 60s. I still can't believe 60 to 70 people at a tournament. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like our area used to have. Had so many players back in those days. Like we could go to one of these rock events like every weekend just about and have a huge turnout. It was great. We were traveling all over the kind of quad state area and playing competitive cliques. It was absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. I wish it was healthy like that again. I wonder if it'll ever get that healthy again. I don't know.
But it was really fun back then. I kind of think that's like the golden age that I lived through. But it's not great now. It was just there were just so many more people playing back then. It seems like.
Yeah, I feel the same way about that. I don't know what happened. Like, is there something you've noticed that's happened since then and now that people have like almost like the same exact answer of just like, hey, why'd you stop playing?
People just age out of it. A lot of times, like they just their life changes. Like, of course, I say that, and here I am staring down the downslope toward 50 years old.
Fair.
I'm almost 4. I'll be 46 in a couple of weeks, and I'm still doing it. But like, that's what happened. That's what happened here to our own play group. I mean, we still get together and play, several of us, but like it's changed because we've gotten married or had kids, and we can't all just meet up and play every week. Like we used to play like a 3-round tournament every Thursday without fail. We'd have like 8 to 10 people. No problem, right? Yeah. And it just over the years we had kids, they got older and priorities changed or work changed and people left or couldn't make it, and that's just kind of what happened. I feel like it's just kind of priorities for people changed, and a lot of them just left the game.
What about Manny? What about you? Checkmate seems pretty consistent right now, right?
Oh yeah, for the most part.
Like, what's your average? What would you say, like an average?
Minimum, we have like, I would say 10.
That's so many still. Holy smokes.
What kind of metro, like what kind of population area are you in? Like, how many, like, or whatever?
Well, it's Toledo, Ohio. It's a bigger city for sure. But a lot of the people that play, we're not actually from Toledo, but it's the closest place to us that we can play.
Like, how far away do you draw people from generally?
So I drive an hour and 45 minutes to get there.
Oh wow!
Every Monday.
Wow.
It's an hour 45 minutes to get to Checkmate, or is that round trip?
Well, the round trip, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, every Monday.
That's crazy. Yeah, like, I mean, where I'm at, like, my town is like 50,000 people or so. Like, and everything else outside of that is just even smaller. Like, it's a very rural area, so we don't have like a big metropolitan or any kind of suburban area to draw from. Like, so I guess we're lucky to get what we do.
That makes sense.
So anywhere near that kind of, like we said, we used to have 8 to 10 people all the time. And it's we kind of got down to where it's 4 or 5 of us, most of the time.
And you're near, sorry, go for it, Manny.
I was going to say, usually when we do pre-releases too, like we pack up. So like there's sometimes we tell people that, hey, we don't have enough product to play.
Wow. It's kind of a nice problem to have, but that never happens to us.
We have 2 separate places in Toledo that play. Some of us play on Monday and some of us play on Friday at different locations. There's 2 stores in Toledo that do HeroClix.
Okay. Yeah. Even if we do releases or whatever, like as far as that kind of stuff, nobody ever goes up from out of town.
What was that, sorry?
So when we do pre-releases and things, we don't ever have anybody new show up generally, ever. Yeah.
You don't have people who just come for pre-releases and that's really all they do?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. Mm-mm.
They all play everything, huh?
Yeah. And the ones that do come, I mean, yeah, I don't know. We don't get anybody that just comes to play sealed. I don't know why that is. I guess there's so many people around here that even play or know about the game,
Do you guys? Sorry. Go for it, Manny.
We have 2 guys from Michigan who drive up to Toledo to play pre-releases with us.
Wow.
So they drive pretty good distance.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Well, if they don't start doing pre-releases here soon, I might start driving over to Toledo. Like genuinely, it's barren over here.
Monday's our collector trove.
Yeah, I've thought about taking off like Tuesday and just driving up after work on Monday and getting there and playing. I've thought about it. I don't know how Megan would feel about it, but I have thought about it because pre-releases are so fun in my opinion. Sealed events are just like the bee's knees in my opinion, and it stinks that you have to like. There's been points in my life right now where I'm just like, listen, if I just went out and pre-ordered a brick, bought it, and then came to the store and just said, okay, we're playing sealed out of this brick. Like there's been times I'm just like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, like in terms of like, they would obviously pay me per booster, but like, if that's how I have to do like pre-release sealed events or whatever, like I feel like that's the route that we're going right now. But
I didn't feel that Clixed was a particularly fun sealed set, my own opinion. But
all right,
maybe we have like 3 Thanos that got.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, same where I played.
Yeah.
Speaking of Thanos, Manny, what did you pull today?
So I did get a brick today of Collector's Trove, and for my super rares I pulled the Ronan the Accuser, the Ant-Man, and the Prime Namor. And for chases, I pulled the Thanos, the Black Panther, the Deadpool, and the Loki.
Oh, you got the God Pack. Nice.
I did get a God Pack. And I also got an extra Thanos in the booster too, in the brick too.
You did?
Yeah, I got 2 Thanoses, man.
That's bananas.
Yeah, 2 Thanoses, a Prime, or 5 chases, and a Prime Super Rare.
Oh, could have gotten 2 Iron Man Primes, but I guess we're not all that lucky, are we?
I did pull Molecule Man too as my legacy card too. So not a bad Wiles either.
Jason, have you purchased your brick yet, or are you not really a brick buyer?
Well, I used to be all the time, and like since COVID, I really haven't been. But I ordered a case of this set, and apparently we have a bad distributor, and they didn't get it here today. Well, I'm not going to get it till tomorrow, unfortunately.
I see. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, we're watching a God Pack on you too.
Yeah.
Daniel pulled a God Pack the other day and got an extra Black Panther chase, and in the case he got from another store.
I've messaged Daniel twice on 2 separate postings about Beta Ray Bill, because that's like the last figure that I want on that set, just for the Stormbreaker. And both times he said they sold. Ugh.
I'm sure he's gonna be super popular.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a Beta Ray right now.
Okay, so sorry. What about Juggernaut? Is he just hard to find? I have seen nobody. Everyone's asking for Juggernaut in the Crimson Gen. I've seen nobody like trading him.
I haven't seen him anywhere. I haven't seen him opened. I think Daniel's opened like 2.5 cases.
Holy smokes!
He hasn't got one yet.
Really?
I watched a Juggerduck get pulled, but not a Juggernaut.
Yeah. I saw Juggerduck.
Is this like the situation with Colossus Prime where there's just like way more Colossus Primes and not enough Colossus Rares?
I'd be okay with that.
Maybe it's more like it's going to be like Kevin or something. Maybe he liked the Kevin rarity.
Oh, then I'm keeping my Juggernaut. I'll ride that train out then.
I hope it's not that way.
I hope not either. Does the Crimson Gen come with Juggerduck or no?
No. Mm-mm.
Ooh, okay. So I feel way better now. I will take the double Iron Man Prime brick with Juggernaut then. I will take that.
Hey, what do you want for that Juggernaut?
I
got an extra Thanos.
Get an extra. I don't know about that one. All right. Well, we kind of went on a tangent there, but that's all good. I that's what this podcast is about. We do have a couple questions I'd like to get to, and I'd like all of us to answer if you would like to.
Okay.
Some of these, sorry, Manny, some of these are 300 modern, but you did play in a 300 modern and did really, really well recently, right?
Did.
With War Machine Prime.
Yeah. Yep. I did do that. That was a Monday.
And you did. I have the message. I'll screenshot it. You said like you're like, I think I see the appeal of team building for 300 modern.
Yeah,
So,
I did go 3-0. So
that was fun.
And I faced a Jurassic League team with that team.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a great team. Okay, Flash Raptor's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So number one, Emilio asks, tell us your favorite big brain play story, either one that you pulled off or one that got pulled off against you. I can start because I actually had remember this one like immediately. I tried to explain this on another podcast after I after I got second at Nationals, and I don't think I explained it very well. So I want to explain it again. In top 8, when I was facing Caleb Reddick, he took me to Brock's bunker. I took the side that didn't have the letters or numbers on it, like one of the little sides, the side with the little room, like the full room in the top left corner. So it had been the left side of the map. And he took the other side and he positioned all of his people in the bottom left corner of the map. A lot of my people had stealth and I had the Page of Pentacles. I had no idea how I was going to get in there. So I kind of bid my time and just hoped that I would do little pop shots with Arachnite and Kong and just hope to roll out of everything back when Kong was really good. And back when Kong, reduced all the damage. And I didn't know what to do, but then Page of Pentacles came up. And so all my characters were in stealth. And all my characters could be placed within 6 squares. So one thing that what I did then was I can't, I'm trying to remember how I did this. I'm like doing it in my mind real quick. I was able to get, I poofed Blackheart up first on the previous turn before I pulled Page of Pentacles. Then I pulled Page of Pentacles. I Page of Pentacled him back to my back line to pick up Elsa and Iron Inquisitor. And I then Blackheart jumped them both up to the front. And then I had Arachnite and Kong attack, Kong carrying Elsa making a free attack, and then I did like a ton of damage off that. I think I ended up taking like his Kong, his Elsa, his Masters of Time, and then all but his basically everything except one Kong and a Black Shirt Porter. And then I was able to jump back after that and get defensive. And then I swapped out my Masters of Time for Doom Supreme so that if he perplexed or proud or anything. It was one of those moments where I was just jumping all around the board And it was something that was not practiced, but just kind of fell into place of like, oh, okay, so I can just like push all these people forward and then jump back and be defensive. So it doesn't sound super big brain, but I had a lot of fun doing it. I felt like I felt like a big nerd after that play. So sorry, that was a lot, but anyways, that was my story. Does anyone else have a really fun story?
Yeah, I don't know if I can remember anything that was a really what I would call a big brain play in recent memory. I know when we were at Red, White, and Click, I was playing against I was playing the scientist plant team, with the poison ivy and man thing and whatnot, and I was playing against a man thing, blue beetle, Jennifer Kale team, right? So he was really, keeping Jennifer Kale protected. And of course, when she's on the team with Man Thing, if you try to attack her, you can just replace, with attacks to Man Thing, right? Of course, he's based me and he's got a huge defense. So I just used my poison ivy to mind control the Man Thing just to punch Jennifer Kale and kill her so that he couldn't use Man Thing to defend her.
I love that. Oh, getting around Kale is I love that. That's actually super awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, that was fun. I love that poison ivy team is one of my favorite ones in recent time.
Yeah, it's a good one. I agree. It's brutal to face, especially if they put you if they pick bunker. It's just so hard to try and navigate that. What about you, Manny? Do you have any plays that you remember? Any big brain plays or that pulled off or got pulled off against you?
I wouldn't call it a big brain, but like one of the smartest things I did was when we were at Gen Con and I was doing a BR and I pulled absolute garbage and everything on my team everything added up on my team was less than 100 points altogether. Oh. So what I did was just put soldiers up next to Robin and was pinging a Velociraptor multiple times every round. He had like 2 of them, so I was just pinging them both and killing them each time, getting like 40 points each time. And every turn I was killing at least one, which gave me enough points to win the Chase Harley that someone else pulled.
Heck yeah.
With less than 100 points on my team.
That's funny. I love that. No, I think that's a big brain play. It's big brain before you put pieces on the board.
Yeah, I would say so.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. Asael from the Alpha Strike channel. Go check him out if you like HeroClix, especially HeroClix gameplay. He does probably one of the best HeroClix gameplay. And I like him also, so he's a cool dude. He asks thoughts on equipment in chase boosters as pogs. If you guys, I'm assuming you guys are hip to that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Not a fan.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the rarity of any of those pogs in the chase booster, much less the equipment ones.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think it's just going to skyrocket those prices up. And it's going to be insanely hard to get.
Yeah, the 5-point shape change. Oh my word, that's going to be so expensive.
It could be, yeah. I mean, we got a free shape change object out there. Maybe that's the substitute right now. I don't know. If chase boosters were like more easily obtainable, I wouldn't think so much about it, man. But why? I don't understand why they're doing it this way instead of like making. Can you imagine if the Dyson token packs had that on the backside of like the action tokens or something?
Oh
or
yeah.
Like, my God, they would have just pulled through those easy.
Oh, 100%. They would have made a killing off those for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're just not there leaving money on the table. Like, if you could sell those, you'd sell so much of them.
That's the thing, right? It does nothing for them in the secondhand market. I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, I agree. And then they were complaining about the rarity of maps like Major Brock's Bunker and, banned it for, nationals or whatever it was.
A day.
And then, yeah. And then then we have these things out there that are way more rare and they're fine.
Yeah, I don't understand the I had a whole post on Facebook, locked and loaded, but then I decided not to do it because I was just like, be better. I don't understand this thought process. Why can't we go back to dice and token packs? This does nothing, especially when WizKids does not sell these chase boosters. I mean, we just basically talked about it, but I was going to verbalize it on Facebook, but decided not to. I didn't know if it was going to be actual critical feedback, so I just decided not to say anything. But here I am saying stuff. Yeah, astounding no, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
Eli, the battle gnome himself, asks, what's your go-to method for fixing clicks, like if they're broken? So for me, it's the answer is always super glue. And it's like it's not Gorilla Glue. It's not the like really adhesive glue. It's like the really, like if you touch it, it's getting stuck to your skin for like 2 days, kind of super glue. The other thing I like to do is if you have like a bent sword or like a piece of the figure that's supposed to be like straight, but it's bent because of how it was packaged or something like that, but it's like kind of a thinner plastic. If you run it under either hot water or you get a lighter or you get some type of heat source and kind of heat it up to get it like kind of malleable, and then once it gets kind of like you can like move it around and stuff like that, you just make sure you don't pull it because otherwise you yank it off. You can straighten it out and then just dip it in cold water and it'll freeze. It'll like basically readjust, like it'll put itself in the way that you were holding it. So that's my way of fixing stuff.
Yeah, I use that like Loctite gel control super glue most of the time. If I'm gluing something back together, if it's got like a bent sword or something, I usually just don't worry about it. It's not my time to worry about fixing it most of the time. Not to me, anyway.
Yeah, so I keep most of my my clicks in containers, like little small containers, and the ones that I feel like would break inside them, I kind of just sit on my entertainment stand in my game room. So that's how I just try to keep them from breaking. But if they do break, I super glue as well.
Sorry. Speaking of broken hero clicks, I gotta send you a picture, Jason. It's gonna make you so sad.
Okay. Oh no.
I sent it in our group chat, and I'll send it on Facebook to you. But I sent it in our group chat with Manny in it, and it took people a minute to figure out what happened, and then people were like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe that happened." So
you must have missed it.
Oh my. Oh no.
That's the one that you gave, the one I bought off you. Just
no.
so you know.
No.
Yeah.
The dog got a hold of it or something?
Yep. The first hero click my dog ever decided to chew up was Swamp Thing Prime. I was so upset. I was taking a walk with my wife and she just was like, "Hey, so how much did Swamp Thing cost?" I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I know it's like worth like 170, 200 bucks. And she goes, "Oh, well," and then she's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Why? What happened?" And I'm like, "Well, Willow decided to chew on it." I'm like, "Okay, well, is it salvageable?" She goes, "I think so." And then she's like, "Oh, there it is." And shows me that, like, "Oh yeah, no, there's no way. That's FUBAR.
That's all that was left.
That was all that's left."
Did I miss this? I can't see the
I'll
picture.
send it to you, Manny.
Oh, the dial was gone and everything. Oh man.
I was like, of course it's the one figure out of all the figures. Okay, yeah. And I had the smoking gun behind it, the Willow, my dog who chews stuff when she gets upset. It was funny.
That hurts me.
I know, I'm so sorry, Jason. I tried so hard to keep it like up. I just happened to put it down for a second and like it was like in a box on the ground. And I guess it might have fallen over, and I think that interests her. She's like, "Oh, what's this?" So I feel really bad for mishandling that. Oh, sorry about that. That was a tangent. Speaking of broken hero clicks, there's no method for fixing that. I can tell you that. That thing is gone.
The method of fixing that is buy a new one.
Yep. And that's not happening.
Wow.
Okay. So how do you pronounce is it Kyo's name, man?
Yeah. Yep.
Kyo. Okay. Kyo, I'm not gonna say his last name. Sorry. Kyo, you know who you are. He's like, a piece that I really like to try and make work is Prime Rogue, but the cost always feels too hefty for the value. How would you make that work? Also, it feels like Kong is still the premier attacker, but should he be? So let's answer the first one too. How would you guys make Prime Rogue work?
By throwing her back into the bin and not using it.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting that you said that.
Uh-oh.
This past weekend at one of the Champion Click IC regionals in Texas,
Okay.
Dustin Senior played Prime Rogue with Kevin. And he was 5-0.
Really?
With it. Yep, it was 250 point Rogue with Kevin. There was a Bucky's arm on Rogue, and he had a time breaker. And he went 5-0, and I guess he must have just had to leave because he dropped and didn't play the cut. But he was 5-0 and fifth with it.
Oh yeah, what the heck? I see him. He's number 9 right here. I see that.
Yeah, I guess he had to leave or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
The rare 5-0 cut to top. It didn't make the cut to top.
Yeah, I don't know if Dustin, if you're out there, let us know what happened. But yeah, I guess he had to leave. I suppose.
Oh,
or maybe
yeah,
he took
I get
a
it.
point and just walked out, like a boss.
Yeah, maybe it was just like
Walk
it's
out
about
5-0,
sending a
like,
message.
you know what?
Yeah.
This is all I needed.
Just want to show you guys that it worked. Oh, dude,
that was a crazy.
It's a hold my beer moment.
yeah, for real. Time. Okay, Bucky's arm on Rogue, time breaker, and then Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And then the treasure chest. Are we gonna start seeing the treasure chest more on the side?
I'm not sure what he was doing with that exactly. I'm not a big fan of it, but
I like
I
the
haven't thought
mimic.
about it either.
I love the
Mimic.
mimic.
What does the mimic do? I don't even know what the mimic does. I haven't seen it.
So mimic, when it's a sideline active of when a mimic is on your sideline, when opposing character would pick up terrain marker or equipped an equipment it's holding, or equipped an equipment it's holding, or in a square of. So you may roll a d6. You on a 1, it's a critical fail. You remove the mimic from the game without scoring it. On 10 or higher, it says instead immediately end that character's action without any effect, removing the terrain marker from the game and generate mimic from your sideline to that character. If it was a D20 result, it has immune until your next turn, and it has plasticity, probability control bullet only for breakaways, and only to target itself or adjacent opposing characters, blades, claws, fangs, poison, shape change, toughness, 15 points.
Okay.
I like it a lot, actually. I think it's hilarious. And I believe it's out now because they didn't actually have a date for it. And I don't know. I saw it finally on a solicit. It's out. It should be out today or tomorrow. So.
Yeah, my shop has them currently right now. So.
Okay.
Maybe it'll be there tomorrow when I go in.
Do you know what the longsword does?
Yeah, the longsword was actually pretty cool. Let me pull it up here.
Because I think the longsword is worth it. I think all 3 of those figures are great. I would take that one over the displacer or over the beholder, personally.
Yeah, I think so. The longsword is 10 points. It has the qualifying keyword, the brute and warrior. It gives close combat expert and blades claws fangs, and when the character uses blades claws fangs, it increases the damage dealt by 1.
Oh, it's so freaking good.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's really good. It's probably worth this bond for that.
I've been using that with Zala Jorel because she's a warrior, so she just gets it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
it makes it a little bit easier for her because hers is on hit. Diana's is just on attack. Hers is you have to hit to bring somebody over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, the 10 hypersonic with the warrior keyword, and she's got an 11. So making it a 12 for 5 damage is kind of brutal. And if you do like, if you can do an Ares bomb with her now, so with that, and all of the results would be -1, so it'd be 4 or higher, I believe. Well, yeah, -1 +1, right? Because if you Ares bomb, you use Blaze Claw's Fang. When this character uses it, increase the damage dealt by +1, and the minimum result is your printed damage -1, so it's always a 4 or higher.
Yeah, that's good.
No, I don't know. Anyways, Manny's like, "Come on, dudes, let's move this along." So,
I'm listening.
Sneaking out over the sword, yeah.
so yes, that's Rogue. I would agree. I think I've seen the best. That's probably, I mean, that's the best placing Rogue in my opinion. 5-0 drop.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can't beat it, right?
Can't beat it.
Never lost. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, just that extra reroll from Kevin is nice.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
I use it a lot.
I use a lot. You use Kevin a lot?
Use it a lot. I use as much re-rolling as I can.
No, I agree. I think prob and re-rolling is the most powerful thing in the game, in my opinion. But that's just me. Another discussion for another time. Okay, so next question from Keo, that second parter would, it also feels like Kong is still the premier attacker, but should he be, with all the different teams being constructed to take him down specifically, does he still have the value building around him, or is there more benefit to creating a unique team that people aren't prepared for? So again, let's break that up again. Do we think that Kong, with all the people trying to counter Kong and all the anti-Kong tech that's kind of moseying around, let's say 50-point Kong, would you say Kong is still considered a premier attacker?
I think he's still a great attacker, but at 50 points, he definitely has a lot of counters now. That's why you're seeing played at higher point levels now, like 200.
Yeah.
And even 3.
The same event that one was in that's the Mr. Mind event that won it, which is still crazy to me. There was 2 300-point Kong teams. One of them made top cut, and I think another one made top cut too, actually.
One got third.
Yeah, one got third. I remember that. I think the other one got top 8. I don't want to say it for sure. I'm looking right now, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, we got 7th, I think.
Ice Kong. Yep. And that one literally was just Kong, Chthon, and Heart-Shaped Herb. The probably cheapest team in the entire event got top 8. So,
was it 300-point Kong?
Yeah.
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 I know. So
we went 4 and 2, and yeah,
that's just bananas to me.
I love it. That's great. I love it. It's fantastic.
I love
having a one-man army that does well. It's great.
Oh, I agree. I love that you could literally just hand a new person Kong and just say, "Here you go, have fun."
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're probably going to do well, unless you see
if you don't have
go for it. Sorry.
If you don't have the proper stuff to go against it, you're going to have a bad time.
Right.
Yeah, there's only a couple things in my opinion that if a new player doesn't know what they're looking for, they're probably going to do great with it. And I think that's Swamp Thing Prime, Blue Beetle, or like Mind Gem, some type of Power Racer. Because if they don't see that tech at all or anything like that, then yeah, Kong can just go to town on everything. So good attacker still at 50 points, but has a lot more weaknesses. 200 and 300-point Kongs, they're great. So the second part to that, the third part, I guess, his question is specifically, does Kong have value building around him, or is it more beneficial to create a unique team that people aren't prepared for?
I think both are probably valid options.
Yeah. There's definitely a surprise factor. Like, that's how Mr. Mind won, I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea how that team works. I'd love to know.
Me too. But what about you, Manny? Are you more of a use the figure that's currently being used a lot of, or building a unique team to get around it?
I personally am more interested in building a unique team. I don't like playing the same stuff that everyone else is playing. That's just me, though. That's why I struggle with Modern.
That's fair. Yeah. I remember you rolling up with your Sinister Syndicate team and it had a Ghost Goblin on it from Avengers 60th. And I was like, wow, I never thought about that. I was just like, I only ever seen Masters of Evil being played with like these figures. I've never seen Ghost Goblin main force before.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of rare to see. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so let's keep moving along. Wes Robertson is, what are your feelings on the set being spoiled, on sets being spoiled early, such as the Spider-Verse was?
It doesn't bother me in the least. I'm totally fine with it.
What about you, Manny?
I mean, I don't see what the big deal is of it being spoiled early. It's more the thing that upsets me is like, I'm the one who didn't get my hands on it. My shop is the one that got
Yeah, what the heck? But what about, so what do you guys, I don't know if I should talk about this or not, but we're going to go for it if it works. If we don't want to talk about it or we don't really have anything to say about it, it's fine. What do you guys think about Scott Porter's response to all this?
I didn't see it.
Oh, like he just said, I'm looking up real quick. He said, is actually in the the Clixed Off group chat. He kind of said he sent a message saying, welp, all the spoilers have happened, means no unboxing for the Spider-Verse. And then later down the line, he didn't really say anything, but then he erased that message and then said, all the spoilers means the traditional unboxing doesn't make sense. However, we're looking to some other really cool avenues to explore. No one canceled anything. We are just chatting about what makes sense for the community. I think this was the more of the it sounded like he was like, well, I'm not the first one to release it, so we're not doing it. And then he was like, okay, we're gonna do something different. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about it. I know, Jason, you probably have a relationship with Scott Porter. I don't. So,
I mean, I don't have a relationship with Scott Porter. He's been on my podcast a couple of times, and I've talked to him like in person once, but that's pretty much it. I didn't even know he posted this in our group chat. But I mean, as somebody who's a content creator that does unboxings, doesn't bother me in the least. It's totally fine.
I mean, I see why he specifically would be a little upset about it. But I mean, in the long run, the people who expose it, it's not their fault that they got the product to expose it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a WizKids or a distribution or a both actually it's a store issue. I feel like the store should have, usually those things usually have like things that say like do not sell before a certain time, right?
Yeah, they're street dated. They shouldn't have probably done that, but I mean, it's on Diamond for shipping it out to you. And not paying attention to what they're doing.
Yeah. If you're a comic book shop and you have no idea what it is and someone just says, I will give you money for this right now, are you going to say no? I will pay for that whole case right now. And they're just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's hard to turn that money down. I mean,
my Marvel Rivals joke did not get appreciated in that group chat because he posted the welp, all the spoilers have happened means no unboxing for the Spider-Verse. I said, I bet it was going to be legendary. Like, legendary! And nobody said anything about it.
Yeah, because he's Star-Lord.
Yeah, because he's Star-Lord. That was my joke, and everyone just whizzed past it.
Yeah, what a nerve.
I know. I'm super, super sad about it. But I guess for me, this stuff doesn't really bother me, honestly. It's just kind of more like, cool. Like, I mean, for me, part of me says, like, I like the mystery sometimes of just like opening up a booster and not knowing what's in the set and being like, oh my word, this guy's in the set, this is so cool. That's how it used to be for me. Like, I didn't have online leaks, I didn't have there was no like set lists or like whatever piece element card, whatever you would call it. There's none of that stuff, so everything to me was just new. All I knew what was on the box and what other people had, and it'd be like, oh my goodness, that guy's in that set, that's so cool. So I guess as a content creator, I still don't care. This set specifically stunk because of something that was going on behind the scenes, but that'll be for another time. But other than that, that's not too bothersome when stuff gets spoiled a little bit early. I'm used to it by now. Most of the bricks WizKids send me are already revealed by the time I unbox them. So I never
Right.
get to actually contribute anything new except for my reactions. But I mean, be that as it may. So anyways, that's my thoughts on that. Okay, last question, and then we can wrap things up. Man's gonna love this question.
Yeah.
Is Eli Becker asks again, is the meta going into rock, paper, scissors direction with Hadari 200-point Kong Hadari and 200-point Kong? And then so let's start with that real quick. Do we think it's gonna be kind of rock, paper, scissors?
I don't know what it's going to be yet. I think those are both really good teams that are out there, but I don't think we have enough data to go on.
I agree. I agree with this. There's 4 IC regionals that have happened. 3, 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 recorded IC regionals.
All pre-collector trove.
Yes. All of which have a lot of Hadari, according to the meta right now, in these events, Hadari Yao is number 5, Kong is number 1. So,
and that's probably because Hadari Yao is close to $300 and Kong was a tenth of that.
That's true. That's very true. Hadari, I'm calling her Hadari Yao.
I call her Hadari, yeah.
Yeah, she's way too expensive. I'll never play her because of how expensive she is. Like, I just don't. I had a hard time buying Swamp Thing Prime. I don't like, but
like. Only reason I have her is because I won Silver State. I mean, not because I won her at Silver State.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see myself ever spending that much money on a HeroClick.
I agree. You could buy a whole case for that much almost.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, see, that's the other problem. You can't even buy a case for that price like you used to could. That's a whole other story.
Oh yeah, I remember when bricks were $120. It was the good old days.
I used to buy them for $90.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
That'd be fantastic.
So yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be very rock, paper, scissors. I think there's a couple of things. Number one, I think we're still very premature in the meta right now. I think people are still experimenting with stuff. I mean, we saw Hadari Yao and Hawkeye win, and I'm just like, I thought Hawkeye was dead in the water, but he's back
in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, that's got a lot to do with Joe because he plays that figure all the time.
Oh yeah, 100%. I understand it's the player, but still.
Yeah, still he's still good.
Oh yeah, I agree. If a character can make 2 attacks in a turn, it's in my opinion, it's a good figure.
Yeah.
I personally, so here's the thing. I think people, I know Beetlejuice is a threat, and I've talked about this before, but like I don't think he's as oppressive as people say he is. Personally, I think people kind of over freaked out about him. I still don't like him for the game, but I don't think he's like super. What are your thoughts on this, Jason? I just don't think he's like super like as oppressive as something like I don't even know.
I don't think people want to play him. I think that's a big part of it.
It's also true.
Terra Panther also makes a huge difference because you're playing Terra Panther. He's just not coming off the other guy's sideline. Like I'm going to pick him every time, pretty much, to sit there. And Terra Panther can always get rid of him if you're playing Terra Panther. You don't have to win initiative or anything. And I don't know, he's not a very fun thing to play as a main force figure. I don't feel like. So I don't think people are they're just not gravitating to playing that. Is he going to be on my side? For sure.
Is he going to be on my side? Yes. Oh yeah, I'm not an idiot. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, he's going to be on my sideline, and will I use him? Possibly. Depends on what I'm playing against, but he's definitely not something I want to use.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Also, just to be clear real quick, I know people don't advocate for this figure, but if you are like, I don't want to deal with whatever his name is. What's his name? Beetlejuice. If you don't want to deal with Beetlejuice, but you don't also want to spend $300 to get the legacy, Black Panther. Just use Despero. I know, like it's not a very popular opinion, but just he's fine. He's 50 points. Yeah, he's 20 extra points, but he's not that bad.
He's fine.
Yeah.
People tell me all the time he sucks. I don't know. I don't think he's that bad.
So does Black Panther. So does Black Panther. What does he do? They do the exact same thing, and then they just both sit there. At least with Despero, I can like mind control through hindering and prob stuff, and also I can punish you for using telekinesis. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can use TK yourself with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that horrible. Personally, I like him.
I do too.
But
he's not a butterfly option.
As tells me he's awful.
Yeah,
But-
well, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I it's hard to I understand that other people have opinions and other people, and don't get me wrong, Az is an amazing player, and I think his opinions have weight to them, but there's sometimes you're just not, I wouldn't say wrong, but there's sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I really don't like, you could say he's bad, but I'm still going to try and play him because I don't want to spend $300 on Black Panther.
Thank you.
So anyways.
Yeah, he's the dollar store version of Hair Panther.
Exactly. Yeah. So, sorry, any thoughts on that, Manny? I know this is like your favorite thing to talk about.
I'm still struggling to see the appeal of Beetlejuice, in my personal opinion, but that's just me. But that's also because I don't play Modern.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to play a game where you don't have free actions?
I mean, do I want to? No.
All right, well, there you go. There's your answer.
That's exactly why, right?
I like at my local, I've seen a lot of people put Beetlejuice on the sideline, and I've never seen him been brought in.
I think it'd be cool. Me and Ian were talking about this, and Ian said he was seeing this at Omaha, but people were slingshotting like time breakers across the map and then popping out Beetlejuice and having him be an attacker and like messing up their back lines and stuff like that with Beetlejuice, which I thought was kind of cool. That seems interesting.
That's an interesting play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, if I just like look at your team, I'm just like, wow, so your team relies way more on free actions than I am. Okay. Beetlejuice, and it's just like, it just doesn't seem very fun. I don't know.
No.
It doesn't seem fun on both ends, but it seems it's like necessary but not fun. I don't know. So
like I want to play plants, and they have a lot of free actions, and he just ruins all my fun.
I know. So now it's like now you have to spend 30 or 50 points to play, like, because you're just like, I can't do anything with Beetlejuice on the map. So now I'm forced to play a $300 legacy element or 50-point Despero. It's stupid. Anyway, sorry about that. The second part is, furthermore, is there any anti-Kong teams that you think will emerge as a result? I guess for me personally, I guess it just depends on which Kong you're talking about. I don't know many anti-200-point Kong teams. I do think personally, if you are not planning on playing any type of power eraser, I think running Mind Gem is something that you really need to consider if you're going to be running 300-point Modern and not have any kind of power eraser, because that's the only instance of it that's outside of like characters. It's the only element that does that. It requires a little bit more setup, but it gives you a little bit of protection if you do run to the 200 or 300-point Kong. That's just my opinion. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Jason.
I think a lot of probably the thing you're going to see maybe with it, 200 and 300-point Kong, I think it depend a lot on healing. Bloodstone's going to be big to try to counter that.
Yes, that's right.
So you cut down the herb, cut down Gaia. Like Prime Blue Beetle's a big thing to go after him with. Eighth, like off of the butterfly, could outwit him.
Yeah.
For the bigger, point levels. I mean, the 50-point Kong, there's so many things you can do to him now. There's so many people that are more points than him. We take a pen, or you use trick arrows or whatnot. But yeah, you get to have something to deal with his reducers and the healing if you're going to try to beat a 200 or 300-point Kong.
Yeah, because 50-point Kongs are a little bit easier to manage now. You throw in like Man Thing or like Ulysses Bloodstone. You pretty much got to handle it, I feel like. I don't know, Manny, do you have any thoughts on this?
Not really.
I
Being
mean,
honest.
War Machine deals really well with 50-point Kong, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have to play Kong at all in mine. I did play a lot of colossal and giant figures, which I expected. So
Yeah, it's at my locals. I played a version of my modern team, except for Kong. I used Super Soar, because I was just like, I know people are just kind of sick of seeing Kong played. So I try to switch it up with something else. And I just realized, like, man, 50-point Kong versus 50-point Super Soar, there's just like a world of difference.
I played against a 100-point Flash Raptor, 100-point Super Store, 100-point Green Torch, bumped to 150 because of the team up card.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I played that and beat that.
Fair enough.
Green Torch is a beast at 150.
He is.
Yeah, he was definitely a pain, but Major Logan was definitely.
Oh, okay. What to say?
All right. Fair enough.
Oh, yeah, he is. Wow. 12 charge flurry with 11 supers, 12 attack. Yeah. And you can just carry everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, he rushed up on me, and then I time brokered up Major Logan and just hit him for 4 attacks.
Major,
Ouch.
yeah. I love him. Major Logan's such a good figure. All right. Well, I think that's all the questions. I think this is a good spot for stopping as well. Thank you so much for joining us, Jason. Jason, before we sound off, I know a lot of people do listen to probably your podcast who listen to this podcast, but just in case you aren't aware, can you let us know where we can find you at and what you're a part of?
Yeah, I'm co-host of the Clixed Off podcast, which you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple, all the different platforms. You can find it on our links on our Clixed Off page on Facebook. It's it's pretty easy to come by.
And then also, and also the Patreon, the big thing. I always love to push this for you guys, but the Clixed Off Patreon for Discord is really, really beneficial. I would say it's a major part of me learning a lot of tactics and stuff, just being a part of the chats, but also the one-on-one practices as well that I have utilized, and I would attest to a part of why I was able to get second at nationals. If I didn't have that help, I don't think I would have ever made it out of pools. But just so you guys know, if you guys want to be a part of the Clixed Off Patreon, you can pay $5 for that, I believe, and be a part of it and get a whole bunch of great stuff. So thank you so much, Jason. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
Yeah, Alex, Manny, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It was a fun time.
I hope it was fun. I know, I know it wasn't modern. We talked a little bit about modern at the end, but gotta please everybody.
I enjoyed it.
So, all right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. And as we haven't done this, we haven't done the Chat GPT thing in a while. Stay curious and keep on clicking.
Stay curious.